Welcome. This is going to be the first video for Excel Project 9. This is the first project that you as 8th graders are going to be doing with Excel. Excel can be an intimidating program. It looks very different from what we've done in other programs, and so I understand that when you look at it, that can make things be a little bit intimidating. And it is tricky to use because it's unlike most of the other programs that you've used before. We did use it in 7th grade. Some of you may have created a budget, some of you created a lemonade game chart. Depending on what quarter you had me, we did some different things. But some of you didn't have me last year, or some of you are new to our school and so you haven't had me at all. And those things can cause a little bit of anxiety, especially once you open up Excel and you see all these, this grid instead of just a blank document. Just calm down. It's going to be fine. Our textbook does a really great job of walking you through step by step, telling you exactly where you want to put things. If you are new to Excel or you don't remember much about Excel, on page 164 of our textbook, it does go back through and review some of the terms that are used in Excel. For instance, when it says cell, it's referring to one of these little boxes here on the screen. So these little grids right here, each one of those is called a cell. A cell is made up of a column and a row. So columns go up and down, rows go across, and each cell is identified by what we call a cell reference. So right now I just clicked on E3, so I see E3. And if you remember from last year, or if you don't remember from last year, I refer to this as kind of like the game You Sunk My Battleship. So you would set up all your boats and then you would call out a letter and a number and you would find where those two intersect, and it's either a hit or a miss. It's also the same concept for bingo. So just keep that in mind. That's called the cell reference or the cell name. And like I said, there's a whole list of terms on page 164 if you'd want to go back and kind of look through those and read through what exactly it's talking about, some of those basics. You might find that helpful. Okay, so when you're going through this chapter, if you come to something and you're being asked to do something in the textbook and you just think to yourself, I have no idea what this is asking me, you need to go through a couple of steps. First, look in the textbook. Most of the time it's going to tell you step by step exactly what you need to do. So it should be there. So that's the first thing that you need to do, is make sure that it's not listed in the textbook. The second thing you need to do is ask yourself, was that talked about in the video? There are some things that are asked. Hold on just a second. Phew, sorry, that was a sneeze. There are some things that this text is going to ask you to do that's covered in previous chapters. Since you haven't done those chapters, you don't know how to do those. So I've tried to go through and give you some instructions on these videos on how to do that, but you have to make sure that you're paying attention to those videos in order to be able to find those things. So please make sure it's not in the textbook and it's not in the video. If it's not in either one of those places, please don't hesitate to ask me. I know that this is a difficult program, and I know that some of you are going to be new to it, so you're going to need a lot of extra help on this. And I'm more than happy to help you or to help clarify something that you've seen on the video or that you read in the textbook. But please make sure that it's not already covered. We don't want to spend a lot of class time covering what's already covered in one of those things. We want to use our class time to get our work done and to answer any additional questions or to give you some additional clarification. Okay, so one of the first things that you're going to be asked to do in this project after you open up your document is to enter what's called the now function. This information is located on page 202 of the textbook, and this is in a previous chapter. Like I said, this is one of those things that you're going to be asked to do that's covered in a previous chapter. You weren't responsible for that chapter, so there's no way for you to know this information. It is on page 202 if you'd like to read through it, but I'm going to go ahead and show you right now. My document is not necessarily the one you're working on, so I don't have to enter in the now function, but I'm going to go ahead and put it right here in cell A3. And to enter in the now function, you select the date, or you select the cell that you want the date and time to appear in. That's what the now function does. It will insert today's date and time, or you can format it to show either just the date, just the time, or both of them at the same time. So I've selected the cell that I want it to appear in, and now I'm going to go to the Formulas tab. And you will see a formula is basically an equation. Excel does a lot of math problems for us. We can tell it to do things for us, and that's what these functions do. It gives Excel some instructions on what we would like it to do. So now that I'm in my Formulas tab, I'm going to go to Date and Time. And when I click on the down arrow, it gives me this whole list of different things that I can select. And each one does a different thing, but if I scroll through, I can find the now function. And it tells you as you hover over it that it returns the current date and time formatted as a date and time. Like I said, you can go back in and reformat it to do some different things. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. This box is going to pop up. It's going to tell me that it's going to return the date and time and that there are no arguments for this. So I'm going to click OK. And here is today's date and the time. It's getting pretty late at night, as you can see. Even though this is the way that it looks here in my document, right here is what we call the formula bar. Okay, and this shows us what we actually entered into Excel, and you can see that what I've actually typed is equal now, and then there's some parentheses. I actually didn't type it, I just made Excel do it for me, but that's called the formula bar, and that's important because that will actually show you what is in that cell. So make sure that you're paying attention to the formula bar. It's not just about what you see, it's about what is actually entered into that formula bar. So like I said, a formula is kind of like an equation. Excel is nice because if you enter information correctly, it will do math problems for you, and we worked on that last year some. We had it do averages and added things for us. It told us the minimum and maximum, and we had it add things, subtract things. So we had it do lots of different things for us. You can use one of these pre-made formulas that are up here in Excel. There are a ton of them here. As you get higher into some different math classes in high school, math and trigonometry, it can tell you cosine, sine, tangent, which is something that you'll learn in trigonometry. So there's all kinds of these different formulas located in here that have already been entered into Excel. You just have to know where to look for them. You can use one of these pre-made formulas, or you can actually create one your own. And if you are going to type a formula, you have to start the formula with the equal sign. Okay? If you don't, it's not going to understand what you want. So let's come down here and let's say that I want to add these two numbers together. I want to add 500 and 400 together, and I want it to appear right here in my total column. So I would click on the cell that I want the number to arrive in, and I'm just going to demonstrate for you why it's important that you put that plus sign. When you are entering in your formulas, you want to use the cell reference. So instead of typing 500 plus 400, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Excel to, I guess you have to hit the equal sign. I'm going to hit the equal sign, and I'm going to click on cell D9. And what I'm telling Excel is that I want you to take D9 and I want you to add it, I'm going to put the plus sign, to E9. Okay, so that's what I've told Excel that I want it to do. Now, if you look, it has made D9 in blue, and it's highlighted that box in blue, and E9 is in green, and that box is highlighted in green. It kind of color codes it for you so you can visually see what you're doing. So I've told it whatever is in D9, add that to whatever is in E9, and then I'm going to hit enter, and you'll see it does that math for me. Now, even though I see 900 in that cell, I see 900 here, but if I come up here, I can see that what I've actually entered in there is a formula. So like I said, it's important that you're paying attention to not only what you're seeing in the cell, but what's actually up there in the formula bar. the reason that it's important that we use our cell reference is, let's say we made a mistake and instead of selling 400 bag snacks, we actually sold 700. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to change that, and because I used a cell reference instead of a number, Excel automatically redid that math problem for me. So now instead of saying 900, it says 1200, and that can save you a lot of time because you can go in and simply make the changes that you need to without having to redo the math. So at this point in time, you should be ready to complete all of the Apply It activities on pages 211 to 218. You can choose to go ahead and do those activities, or you can choose to move on to the next video.